Okay, let's do this. Let's go around if we can do introductions real quick, just so everyone knows who everyone is, what your business is. I'm Joe Buffington, president of the Olney Chamber of Commerce, also general manager of RE/MAX Realty Center. Been a chamber member since '96, on the board like since 2000 maybe. So thanks for coming. Richard?
I'm Richard Aaronwright, Aaronwright & Associates. We do business exit strategy, business consulting, business sales. We do it nationally on a particular industry, and getting back into the local market as things seem to be picking up a little bit.
And I'm Michael McFadden, I'm the son-in-law.
I'm Eli Hecox, Hecox Home Services. We're a local family-owned heating and air conditioning company.
I'm Dan Petticore with Petticore Plumbing, also locally family-owned plumbing company, and we do a lot of work with a lot of the realtors in this office.
Robin Quinter from Quinter Design, graphic design firm. For 25 years, we've been on a mission to rid the world of unattractive and ineffective marketing materials.
John Quinter Design.
My name is Lori Speed. I have my own company called Absolutely Organized Now. I help people establish systems to get and stay organized. And it's a small business and residential.
I'm Keisha Martin Burney. I'm a real estate agent here at RE/MAX, and I've been here for 10 years, and I've been licensed in Maryland and DC for 16.
Kay Kimball, also RE/MAX Realty Center agent. And I've been licensed for 4 years, been here for 7 years, and that's it.
Lori Hecox, RE/MAX Realty Center, and I've been here 12 years.
I'm Emily Catone. I'm also a real estate agent. This is my first year, and I just joined Coldwell Banker yesterday. Erica Terry said, "Don't tell Joe."
Okay.
No wonder the door was locked. Nobody did.
Yeah.
It's a long story, but it's very exciting. Bear with me.
And I'm Susan Keeley. I'm Director of Marketing at the Sandy Spring Museum.
Awesome.
I'm Vincent Blackman. I'm also a RE/MAX agent. A little hiatus. I'm actually trying to come back in.
Right on.
I've been licensed since 1987, so I can't count that far back.
Lewis?
Welcome back.
I'm Louis C. I almost said RE/MAX Town Center, but I'm transitioning. Probably joining Realty Center.
Probably, or welcome aboard.
And then John?
John Holzheiser. I'm the Executive Director of the Chamber. Welcome. Thank you.
All right, so thanks again for coming. This has been kind of a passion of mine. I always liked teaching, and wanted to become a teacher when I was in college, and decided to get into business instead. So try to use teaching to grow my business and hopefully help others grow theirs. So you guys got a handout? So first, I'm not a marketing expert by any stretch of the imagination. I've found some strategies with Facebook that have worked very well in my business, and I've seen some translations that it can work in your business as well, probably. But I think you're going to have to put your own filter on some of the stuff as well, because you know your business a little better than I do. But also, I'm starting this off with a little bit of kind of a marketing 101. I'm sure Robin and John probably have a whole lot more experience in this than I do. But I look at this as if I taught you how to use Facebook marketing, it's almost like giving you a car, but telling you, not giving you any destination where you're going, giving you no map and giving you no gas. It's a tool in your business, right? It's not the only tool, right? And it's going to be used in conjunction with other vehicles in your business, but it's not the only one. But I also want to make sure that agents and other business owners are using it correctly, because if they use it correctly, it can be a very, very powerful tool. All right, so first starting off, my 4 kind of rules of marketing are, you got to know your budget, right? If you have $1 million and your marketing budget or your marketing plan calls for $1,001,000, it ain't going to work. right? If all you have is 500 bucks, that's great. That's all you have. Let's try to use it and spend it wisely. And also with that, track your results, right? Because that's the one thing, and I think for a lot of folks who are trying to create a budget, the first time you create a budget, a lot of times you wind up missing the mark. It's usually the second year, I find, on your budget that it really starts making sense. Because then you can see where your business came from, right? When you're tracking it, and you can realize, okay, we spent a lot of money over here, it really didn't work. We spent a little money over here, we saw this growing, maybe take some of that budget, allocate it over here. All right, number 2, know your audience, right? In my business, I'm in a service business. Sphere of influence, past clients, past customers, that is my bread and butter. That's where I start first, and that's where I spend my first dollar. Number 3, you gotta know your message, right? The way I look at this is genuine marketing is the most effective, and I'll kind of go into this a little bit, is there's a lot of auto posting programs, and in our business, there are a ton of programs that say, hey, look, you're a business owner, you're super busy, we'll post for you, right? And a lot of that is, it's quantity over quality, and I think people are coming on Facebook looking for genuine marketing, right? They don't just want to see the same post that 5 other people have posted in your business. So I think the more genuine your marketing is, the better it's going to be. With that said, though, genuine marketing takes time, it takes effort, right? So I think you've got to spend some time actually creating good marketing or having a good partner to help you with the marketing. And then 4, knowing your competition, right? It's important to understand, because if you're pumping out a lot of content and your competitor next door to you is pushing out the exact same content, right, you're going to look identical to them, and there's not going to be a market differentiation. So I think it's good to understand your competition and understand that gap where you have an advantage over your competition, and sometimes exploit that gap. Okay, so rule number 1, knowing your budget. I'm going to skip this one because this is a personal conversation you're going to have with your CFO, with your business partner, with yourself, as to what your budget is. It's not my job to help you come up with that budget, but it is what it is, right? So we're going to focus pretty much on items 2 through 3. All right. So let's look at this. So number 2, what are the different areas that you generate business? Just start calling them out.
What was the question?
Where do you generate business?
Grocery stores.
Grocery stores, okay.
Church.
Okay.
Happy hour.
Ones that you're putting together or just showing up at a happy hour?
Just showing up, you know, busting into something.
Just put it right under church, that works.
Okay.
Lectures.
What's that?
Lectures.
Lectures. Giving lectures? Okay.
Friends.
Ah, friends. The F word.
Oh, the old one.
All right.
Full clients,
yeah.
Okay.
active clients, dormant clients.
I'm gonna do that.
Not being a real estate agent, but for us, other businesses.
Okay.
Networking.
All right.
OBX.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others? All right, so basically why I'm doing this is we usually wind up kind of finding two buckets of people to pull from, right? And when I look at this is the people you know and the people you don't know, right? So there's, and again, that's it, really the world breaks down to this as far as who your audience is going to be. There's going to be people who use your service in the past, they've had a relationship with you in business, and then there's people who are absolutely, completely unexposed to your business, and you are starting from scratch, getting them to understand who you are, what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and why they should use your product or service. In my business, I always look at this as my first dollar spent is always with the people I know, right? I've already gotten over, they know me, like me, trust me, right? I've gotten over the huge hurdle in business. So now all I have to do is make sure that I keep that relationship going, that they understand that I'm still in business, that I'm relevant, my service is relevant, my product is good. So that's kind of where I look at audiences, and it's good for you guys to understand too where your business comes from. Who are those people? So again, I talked about this. My best audience, the first dollar spent in my business is with my sphere of influence. I look at a sphere of influence, know you, like you, trust you, is anywhere between 100 and 200 people. Anything above 200 people, it's really more just like a phone book, right? You don't have relationships with them. And the litmus test I've got is if you ran into them at the, funny someone said grocery store, if you ran into them at the grocery store, would they know your name? Would you know their name? Could you carry on a conversation with them? If you couldn't, they're really not in your sphere of influence, right? And then next line down is what is the best referral? In other words, if someone was going to promote you, what would you want them to say? Anyone bold enough to throw it out there?
Shrewd negotiator.
Okay.
Honesty.
Okay.
Committed.
Okay.
Reliable.
Reliable. So how would you demonstrate reliability?
Showing up when you say you're going to be there.
Great. Yep. Very good. So, Keisha, what was yours? I'm sorry, I got you with food in your mouth.
Committed.
Committed. How would you demonstrate commitment?
Following up.
Okay.
Being on time for my appointments. Just a lot of things show I'm committed.
Okay. Yep. So here's what I look at is in the world when there's referrals going on, when people are referring your business to someone else, again, we're talking about this 100 to 200 group of people, there's two referrals. There's one that is, oh, you ought to use Keisha, she's great, right? Then there's another one is, oh, you have to use Keisha, she shows up on time, she does this, and she does this to get my house sold or to provide my service, right? With Eli, he did this, he promised this, and did this. So if you can get a referral with a system, right? When someone's actually referring you with real-time systems, it's a much stronger referral. The best way to do that is you also build a marketing campaign around those things that are unique to your business, those services that you provide, that are tangible, and market to your clients those services, right? So that they understand that's how you do your business. So that they understand when they go and refer you, they're taking almost the words out of your mouth and telling other people about you. All right, so then we look at messages, right? So effective marketing conveys three things. In our business, it does brings clients closer to your brand, right? It gets them used to what your brand is. In ours, that's basically making sure the marketing that we're pushing out looks good, right? It's got our information on it. It's clear to understand what you do. The second thing is bringing your client closer to product. In our business, that's listings, right? That's homes. And then bringing your client closer to the process. This is about how you do your business, right? Sometimes this is a harder one to demonstrate to clients on one-dimensional, two-dimensional marketing, how you actually do your business before they've actually used your business, right? And that's a little more of a difficult one. That's where we talk about process. So branding, product, and process are the big three things. All right. So on the next page, and this is kind of homework for you guys, is think about messages you want to push out to your clients, to your sphere, to your next customer. And usually it's going to fall into one of those three categories, a brand, product, or process type of message. Sometimes your message can actually have all three things in it. Sometimes it only has two, sometimes it just has one. And these are similar to like a unique selling proposition. Have you guys ever done a kind of a exercise on figuring out what your unique selling proposition is? Yes? No? Do you guys know what a unique selling proposition is? Well, please elaborate. So unique selling proposition is one that creates a differential between you and your competition. What do you do differently? And I hear people say, well, I'm honest. I've got integrity. Well, I think that's a kind of a baseline. I think everyone should be honest and have integrity in business, right? But how do you differentiate yourself from the client, from other businesses out there?
What type of, tell them what the perks are that you have for being their listing agent.
Like in real, yeah.
I'll pay for the photos, I'll pay for stager, I'll pay for, with the presentation.
Added value.
Added value, yeah.
Yep.
The added value you bring.
So, well, I've got you guys. So, do you guys have any unique selling propositions in your all's business?
doing twilight open houses.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
What is that, at nighttime open house?
The DC is starting to be really
Like a
popular.
party?
The little wine and cheese.
Right.
Yeah. Vince?
I have an old-fashioned rule between me and my clients. I can be reached.
Okay.
No kidding.
All right.
We've been known to stay up all night for a client.
Right. Okay. Other things you guys do uniquely that's different than your competition?
I say I'm spunky and fun.
Okay.
And you're gonna buy a house regardless, so it might as well be the best experience you've ever had.
Okay.
May as well be with somebody spunky fun.
Right?
When I also look at, when we talk about like goals, we talk about like SMART goals, and a lot of that is also measurable. So when you're thinking about these things, try to find ways to make them measurable too, that you can, if someone ever called you on the floor as to how are you more spunkier than the next agent, or how are you going to stay up later than the next marketing company. If you've got ways to demonstrate to your clients how you've actually done that kind of in a tangible way, I think that's when the messages also become a lot more impactful as well. All right. So next line down is what vehicles do you use to push your messages out? What are you guys using to get the word out about you?
Facebook,
Facebook, right?
YouTube,
YouTube, yeah.
newsletter,
Yep, newsletter, print.
in print and email.
Yeah, print.
Just networking too.
Networking, yep, awesome.
Flyers wherever you can put them.
Yep.
Seminars.
Seminars, yep. Education classes like this.
Training your clients to be that vehicle.
Yep, that's networking, word of mouth. Yeah, so there's a lot of different avenues and a lot of different vehicles to get your message out there. And a lot of times it's you have to craft a very good message, right? And then it's almost like a wheel and spokes. You got these different vehicles to push your message out. Some may not be as appropriate as others, but print still works, postcards work. Some of the traditional methods still work. But this is where we're going to kind of dive into how to use Facebook in conjunction with these other things. I wouldn't tell anyone to drop what they're doing right now, but use Facebook to, if you're not using it right now, to add on to what you're currently